Yo, what's up guys, Aiden here. So today in this video I'm going to share with you how I lost $600 trading stocks over the past 2 days. I noticed when I came to do this video there was a little bit more reluctance in me compared to when I'm doing a video based on a nice juicy win I've had. So there's definitely a bit of shame associated with the size of the losses that I've taken and the manner in which I've taken those losses. That being said, I've had to remind myself that one of the main reasons that I do this channel is for accountability. And so it makes perfect sense for me to be as transparent and open about the losses I have as well as the wins. So just before we have a look at some charts, I would like to share with you some of the psychological issues that I'm currently struggling with in regards to trading. So I don't actually think that learning to trade is that difficult from a technical perspective. What I mean by that is that I don't think it is rocket science to learn how to read a chart or to learn the setups or to learn level 2. I'm definitely still a novice and definitely still learning my trade, but I don't think it is. I think it's something that anybody can do if they are dedicated enough and interested enough. However, learning to manage your emotions and learning trading psychology I think is very, very tough. And what I'm currently struggling with is adapting to shifts in the market. On the one hand, I'm really pleased because now I can sit down at the market first thing in the morning, look at the scanner and tell instantly if there's been a change. However, it's taking my expectations a couple of days to match with the shift in the market, and during those couple of days I'm losing money. Hopefully it's just a couple of days and it's not more. It is a step forward for me because that pattern had been completely subconscious in me before, and now I am becoming more aware of it. And I think that's the heart of all psychological issues with trading. We have these subconscious patterns that continue to act themselves out until we bring awareness to it. Unfortunately, there is nothing that I can do to change this pattern. What I mean by that is I can't use willpower. If I use willpower and I could use my willpower to suddenly change it, then I would. And tomorrow and from here on ever after, I would never make that problem again. But it doesn't really work like that. The issue I have is subconscious, and all I can do is go through it and hope that I become more aware of it, and again through that awareness of it, it can lose its control over me. So I feel relatively confident that I can take money from the market. Perhaps not in every market, but when there is volatility and range and tickers running, I feel quite confident that I can profit from that sort of environment because I do understand certain setups fairly well, and I do understand good risk reward, and I do know how to execute my plan. I might not always stick to those things, but there is a good foundation to work with. However, I am far less confident in saying that I can protect my gains. And that is both worrying to me and exciting to me. It's worrying because I don't want to give back what I've made. It's exciting to me because I'm identifying what my current issue is, and if I can address that issue, if I can change that issue, I have a chance of being a consistently profitable trader. Until I realise what my next issue is, at least. Cool, so that's more or less what I'm experiencing from a psychological perspective. Let's have a look at some charts and I will show you some excellent undisciplined trading. Cheers. Alright, cool, so straight into the charts. But the important thing to remember is that last week was my most profitable week in a couple of years, and then Monday I had a 4-figure day, and then Tuesday the market shifted for me. So again, I carried that sort of mentality of wanting to make money even though the market was no longer offering the same opportunities. So the first ticker that I traded on Tuesday was GSIW, and the reason that I traded this ticker on Tuesday was because there was nothing else to trade and I was simply scratching around looking to make the same kind of money as I made the week before, as opposed to taking my foot off the gas and just chilling. So GSIW was a SPAC that had this huge day one, which I missed. But I've got no problem with missing that, but what I'm going to look for after that is a potential first green day. Again, if you don't know what a first green day is, don't worry, I do have a video coming on that very soon, but it's basically a bounce after it's retraced its big move. So the issue I have in regards to looking for a first green day with this is that it doesn't meet my criteria, because this finished lower than where it started its run from, and therefore this doesn't qualify in my book as a first green day setup. It hasn't set up appropriately. I think this stock is also Hong Kong, so I think there's some pretty funky stuff going on there. So this was like a huge dilution there, I think, perhaps. And I'm actually trading it potentially, well, I did trade it on this Tuesday, so way below the start of the run. So already there my discipline is broken. It was good risk reward that I got. My entry was really good risk reward, but if that trade doesn't work against you, you've got to cut instantly, which I did. But then you've got to just chill and not be chasing your losses. And I ended up sort of trying to get my money back and compounding my loss. So I'll show you how I traded it. But again, the important thing to realize is that I'm breaking my discipline by taking this trade in the first place. And it ultimately led to another loss on top of that. So GSIW, I traded it on the Tuesday, looking for a first green day bounce. The internet's a little bit slow today. I'm not sure why. Let's look on the 5-minute chart. Okay, so the big day one, the huge dump, the day second reg day, I traded it on this day here, on the Tuesday, because this held in the morning its previous low of day. So I got in, this previous low of day is 121, and I got in 123. And saw it push and thought, okay, this might hold. And when it didn't, broke 121, I just cut straight away, and I lost 150 bucks. And then it had this big flush below this day's lower day, so it's made an all-time new low of day from this run, if you know what I mean. And then it came back and it held the 115 level, which was this lower day, and for some reason I got back in thinking, okay, now it's going to use that as the lower day, I'll just risk off that. And but I missed the 115 entry here and ended up chasing it up here 118, 119, and then when it came back and tested this level, I got scared and thought it was going to have another flush like this and just cut, and I ended up losing another 150 bucks on the Tuesday. It totaled a loss of $300. So that's kind of what can happen when you take one undisciplined trade. It can lead to another, and it did in my case. So that was the Tuesday, and then on the Wednesday I still hadn't adapted my mentality. I still hadn't sort of adapted my expectations in line with the market. I know the market's changed, but still, like I say, I'm a couple of days behind in shifting my mentality. So on the Tuesday I traded, let's have a think, TGL. Okay, I traded TGL. Actually, the first one I traded was RSLS. Okay, and the reason I traded RSLS, so this was a recent reverse split. Okay, and I'm trading it on this day, on the Wednesday, which is here. The reason why I traded it on this Wednesday, if we look at this daily, it had a day one move on its split and then a retracement. And this isn't kind of something that I would normally play, but BNZI recently did that. It kind of had a run on day two of its split, a retracement, and then a third day surge. So BNZI did it, NVVE did it, a run on day two of its split, a pullback, and then this would be a fourth day surge, or basically just a first green day. So I kind of thought the RSLS might do the same thing. So there is a trade thesis there that is good, but the problem with this is that the overall market's quiet, and in my mind, instead of accepting that as reality, I'm thinking maybe this will be the stock that reignites the momentum in the market, and that is completely illogical way of thinking. I should be just acknowledging that the reality is what it is, not thinking that I'm going to get lucky. Basically, that's what I'm thinking. So again, my expectations are not matching what the market is currently offering. How I traded this? Okay, so let's jump to the 5 minute. This was the day 1, the day of the split. Day 2, first red day, and then day 3. Oh, actually, this is the. So I did trade it this day. I sort of got in pre-market at 640, risking this low here. Pretty small size because I know I'm risking, 7%, which is more than I'm comfortable risking normally. Had this little pull, entered again at 610 because the risk is nice and tight. As soon as it broke, I just cut, and I lost $150 on that. This loss, I think it's pretty much a good loss. My expectations in regards to how far this could run, I thought this could break out. I saw it had warrants in I think 1350 or something like that. So my thesis was that they're going to try and reach 1350 in order to dilute and get the cash. So I did have a decent enough thesis there, I feel, but my expectation was sort of a bit skewed, but not too bad. I don't think I've traded this particularly badly, and $150 loss on this is acceptable in my book. That being said, the way I reacted as a result of that loss isn't acceptable. So I had another trade, a ticker that I was looking at, TGL, and I had a good thesis on this as well. So this I did trade a couple of days ago after hours. I traded it after hours on this day, as a $1 hold. And $1 holds I've been trading quite well. I've seen quite a lot of them over the past few weeks, perhaps a month, and have had a good idea about how they operate. So this one, you can see here, it ran from almost 70 cents on its day 1 to 150. It comes back, finishes over $1. Day 2 finishes over $1, and then this is the day I'm looking to trade it, on the Wednesday. Now I have a very clear idea about how I want to trade that, and the reason that I have this idea about this is because SMSI acted in a very similar way, and so did EGIO, but I think that ticker's either changed its ticker, that company's changed its ticker, or it's been delisted because I can't find it. But if you look at SMSI, same kind of thing. Big day 1, day 2 holds $1, and then the day 3 surge. So I'm thinking this can possibly act, TGL can possibly act in the same way. And my plan on this day, I like to risk off 90 cents, but I was unsure if this would drop as low as 90 cents, just because it had a stronger day 1. SMSI only reached 120, and this is reaching 150, so I didn't know if I'd get the opportunity to enter at 90 cents on day 3. And as it happened, I was correct, but I wanted to get in as close to $1 as I possibly could. Now, as soon as I caught SMSI, I was a little bit on tilt, even though my thesis was good, but I just didn't handle my emotions very well, and I jumped straight into this, bigger size than I should, and I got in at 104. So I got in here very early in the market open, 104, thinking, well, I'm probably oversized to risk 90 cents, so I'm going to risk $1. Ultimately I feel like I should have been risking this day 2 low of 92, but at this point I'm kind of on tilt, and I'm thinking I'm just going to risk $1, and if I get shaken out, I get shaken out. So already my mentality's not right. So I buy in at 104, and it just has this flush down to $1, holds $1 perfectly. I get scared thinking it's going to break $1 and sell at $1 and take another $150 loss, and then just see it reverse, hold $1 perfectly, and then reverse. So that was the one thing I did well there, is I didn't chase it. I didn't think, oh, I'm right, I'm getting back in. I just thought, you know what, I'm not trading well. I'm going to step away from the computer for a little while, which I did. I think I stayed on the computer, but I just logged out. I think I ended up watching Harry Potter. Sometimes there's a time and a place for things like that, and I think when you're on tilt, it's probably the time and the place. So Yeah, but again, you can see my thesis here was correct. So I am right, but I just didn't stick to my risk. And ultimately, I shouldn't really have been buying at 104 unless I'm taking small enough size that I can risk slippage, or just wait for the FOMO got me here because I'm on tilt. But I should have been waiting for the pullback to $1, see if it holds, then get in. If the trade goes without me, then it goes. I know it's only a 4% difference, but that's a lot to me, and I don't like being down on my position because I ended up doing stupid things like cutting at support. But ultimately, that's what I've done. So guys, that's it for today. That's how I lost $600 in 2 days. Big picture, I would like to remind myself that I am still currently having my best month in 2 years. I'm currently up about $4,000. And ultimately, one of the reasons why I'm doing this video is to help myself bring awareness to the current issues that I'm having on the market, in the hope that the awareness that I bring helps to facilitate change. More specifically, I would like my intentions or my expectations of what I can take from the market to match what the market is actually offering in a short space of time. I hope that makes sense. I will catch you on the next one. Cheers.